Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Garrett Perkins here, CRO at Givington's, and I got a dear friend, and I think it's fun that I get to actually say dear friend now with me today. Tim Marinello, COO of The Adventure Challenge. The Adventure Challenge has been a client of Givington's now for almost 3 years. I think we're coming up on 3 years. But Tim, man, thanks for coming down and being down to chat with me for a little bit. Really, I'm excited to talk today about specifically the uniqueness of your product, how you guys leverage content or books specifically in a really experiential way, and then just also e-commerce. I think a lot of our clients and a lot of our audience knows a lot about content, but not a lot about e-commerce. And what's interesting about Givington's is we sit in the content publishing world and the e-commerce world, and we keep trying to pull them together. And you guys could probably write a master class on how to leverage content in the direct consumer e-commerce space. So why don't we start with this? Tim, how long have you been at the Adventure Challenge? Tell us about the Adventure Challenge. Let's start there. Who are you?
Yeah.
What do you do?
Well, thanks for having me, Garrett. I can echo the dear friend sentiment because we have had a few rounds of friendship building, which has been a beautiful journey that I hope to get to. But happy to be on. I am Tim Marinello. I have had the privilege of being a part of the Adventure Challenge for roughly the last 4 years. We are a 7-year-old. We started as a D2C brand. Now we're an omni-channel brand. So we have a presence in, Amazon, in major retail, Target, Walmart, and a few others, and international markets. But we started really, from that, initial ad on Facebook and saw tremendous growth in our first 2 years.
Yeah, walk me through that. So you guys, walk me through kind of the genesis of your founders and just kind of how it started, and really the insane hockey stick amidst the digital ad spend boom of 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah. So we have a really beautiful story. It started from our founder, Brian Ellis. He was a young guy, had some issues with doing the same repetitive thing, right? So he, Friday night, is he going to do board games, go to the movies, do board games, go to the movies, do board games? He was kind of in that rut as a young guy, and he's like, he was having a moment, thinking about what alternatives there could be, and he had kind of that idea, like, what if we created a book that had a ton of different adventures hidden by a lotto scratcher. You didn't know what you were going to do until you committed. And that was essentially the genesis moment. Him going to market with that idea was a whole other journey, but it started what was the Adventure Challenge, and brought in a partner, Ben Day. And so Ben and Bryant started the company just before holiday in 2018, and that timing was it couldn't have been better from a ad performance perspective.
Providential almost.
Yeah, I mean, that was amazing, and just the within a few months, really like 14 months, COVID would hit, and everybody's focus would be on how do we get our attention on the dearest relationships in our life. How do if we're around them in our home, they're driving us crazy. How do we actually get to that that connection point? And that's what we do. We provide. I'm kind of sitting in one of our main spaces, but that is our mission: inspiring human connection, and we do that through an array of different products, from kids to couples to families to self. We have products that really help you tailor the season of life that you're in, or the area that you want to grow in connection with. Because what's the phrase about like health? You could have 100 problems, but if you lose your health, you have one problem, right?
Yeah.
I think our connection in our closest relationships is the same thing. If we have a broken connection in our relationship with our spouse, our partner, our kids, it rules our world. And there's, what do you have? You have therapy, you have maybe your support community, faith community, your friends, and then you have kind of experiences and the time that you're going to reinvest with those people. And we are lucky enough to have the honor of being one of those tools to help us all connect at a deep, intimate, level through unique experiences that we wouldn't think of ourselves.
Yeah. Well, and you guys have done such a good job of packaging an experience, a connection experience, in the form of literally a physical book, which is just fascinating. And I think it's that tactile experience that that made it blow up, right? I think perfect timing, providential timing, but also the uniqueness of the product. There's a lot of people robbing your idea right now. But when you guys showed up on the scene, no one was creating an experiential, tactile, communal experience in a book form. Usually books are not communal. Books are for individual working on your relationship with a higher power or your professional life, where this book is experiential in a way that was so unique at such needed time in the market. And I think for our audience, what we love about you guys is you guys have leveraged content in a way that is special, unique, and did it right at the right time. Would love for you to kind of share a little bit about just the growth over the last over the course of the last 7 years. Obviously, you and I were talking before we hopped on and started recording. Just the reality is, any business that lasts more than 3 years deserves a round of applause. And you guys have lasted COVID, have lasted iOS changes, which in the e-commerce world is wild and completely disrupted and ruined and bankrupted so many businesses. Walk through some of just your growth, and maybe just give some numbers for people just to understand. And a lot of people will hear that and go, wow, they're so lucky. And maybe paint some humbling perspective of, hey, with great power comes great responsibility, or with great revenue comes, more money, more problems, maybe is a better way to say it, so to speak.
Totally. And I'll give kind of the history before I joined. So I had kind of secondhand experience, but out of the gate, the first 2 years were explosive, right? So we're fortunate to use pre-orders. So launching, digital ads to get customers to our site without having to spend too much money on product out of the gate, without knowing what volume velocity.
Which works for a new business, right? But eventually
it works for a new business. It works for a novel business.
There you go.
Right?
Yeah.
So, so we started out of the gate with pre-orders, really helped us. We were setting up, we were in a very high growth. We went from like 0, 4 million in that first, partial year to, 20 plus to, north of 70 within, the first 2 full years. So it was crazy explosive. And I think that's, really set our expectations on like, hey, then we tapped into a problem and a need in the market, which was, hey, could you create a product that gave people unique experiences, that took kind of a leader out of the equation? It didn't need to be one person's idea or the other person's idea. It was like, hey, let's do this together. And one of our slogans is like, no takebacks, right? So once you scratch it off, you have to do it. These are not things you think of on your own. You do it, and then you have this experience. It's like, hey, you can blame us, right? Blame us for the weird thing that you're doing, but it becomes a scrapbook and a memory book that people are using. We've had crazy experiences, Garrett, or testimonies from our customers. We've got literally tens of thousands of reviews and stories of how this is impacting people. I brought a little, kind of show and tell, but we have our family book. So this is like our solo book, our couples book. And I mean, the heart of it, for those that aren't, familiar with our stuff, it's, we've got kind of the rules. So, disconnect to reconnect, getting people off their phones, getting out of screens, going to in the moment, no take backs, document the journey, and then show it off. And you have challenges, right, with a little tab for your Polaroid, and then you write the journal, and it becomes kind of a memory of like 50 experiences with you and your partner, or you and your family. We have folks that are doing that, single dads that get their, he got his there's a guy in Australia, he got his 3 daughters, on the weekends, and he really wasn't connected to them. And he worked his way through the family edition. And he's like, thank you for letting me get to know my daughters again. And it transformed, his family and his ability to make up lost time. I went to a customer's wedding. We get a lot of wedding invitations, which
No,
is
I
a
bet,
huge
which
honor.
is,
Yeah.
yeah.
I was working, or I got an invite from this couple out of Sacramento, and like they wrote a long, handwritten letter, just like, hey,
Yeah.
we used your book to define the relationship. We had that DTR
Yeah.
moment, and the boyfriend said, hey, will you be my girlfriend? And they dated their way through the book,
Yep.
and they got close to getting engaged, and he actually made like a 51st, fake
Oh, cool.
scratcher and
Yeah.
to propose, and he used it to propose, and then they invited us to the wedding, and it was an honor to be there, just to be able to see, how that one tool and that one book kind of fostered their love story in a
Oh
cool
my gosh.
way.
Yeah, no. You
So-
see, and again, it comes back to the creativity of, and I've met Ben and your team. I've met Bryant. They are, they are creative geniuses. And they're not scared to try things. What I also appreciate, what you guys have done a really good job at, is you go where the momentum is, you go where the market is, and the products that you are making. Some businesses could just go, wow, this book is working. Let's just make another version of this book. And you guys have slowly but surely iterated. Also, because the market is needing to see different things, but you've created more than just books, and you've created some ancillary products that enhance that experience. First and foremost, the Polaroid, right? You're actually selling cameras. You're selling cameras on your website, where they could get it on Amazon, but that's a great, there they are right there. And you sell the batteries come with it, and film come with it, where you're creating this boxed experience that goes farther and lasts longer than the book itself. Not only that, you guys got amazing connection cards, and you have the kindness challenge that you came out with, which I think you guys did some collaboration with some content creators themselves. With some talk to me about that. Well, how did that journey come about, of you guys looking at, all right, how are we leveraging other creators to reach new markets and create products that still fit within our mission, but start stretching that mission? Walk me through some of that with the product development.
So we're fortunate enough to be based in Redding, California, and there's a ministry school here that a lot of our founding team and our team members have been able to go to. And there's a influencer, his name's Jimmy Darts. We essentially used him as the first influencer, affiliate marketing type of relationship early on. And his video went viral for us like overnight. We're like, hey, where'd these sales come from? So it was a really cool experience to work with him, 5 years ago. And he has, if you're not familiar with Jimmy, I would check him out. He's amazing. He's an amazing man. I think he is like GoFundMe's top contributor, just because his projects, he's in real life asking people for help, getting kindness in return, and then rewarding that through usually monetary or philanthropic gifts that are crowdsourced. And it's just a really fun feed of doing meaningful work. And he's a friend of the house. He was close with Ben and Bryant, and we're like, hey, he had the idea, like, I want to build a game. Like, I want to put kindness at the forefront of people's daily life. And we have an amazing product creation team. So we all synced up, created the kindness challenge, and it's an amazing activator. It gets you out of your comfort zone. You're doing acts of kindness to strangers, family, self, and it was a cool collab. We're really proud of that.
Such a creative way to leverage a different audience, and also creating win-win-win with content creators, right? So often in the content space with content creators, it's pay to play. There's all these. It's not a relationship. It's a relationship that feels transactional between the content creator, and content creators either get burned out or they take advantage of. And I appreciated the way you guys have navigated that with Jimmy, and a lot of it comes back down to because of the way you guys as a team and a leadership team do relationships. It makes it builds trust very quickly, because in a world that trust is earned, it's and people expect it right away. You guys just do navigate that really, really well, which we appreciate. You guys have experienced wild growth. You've experienced stabilization. You've experienced hard lessons as well in the e-commerce world. A lot of our clients and a lot of our content creators are wanting to build e-commerce direct-to-consumer brands with physical product. If you were starting one today, or let's say, maybe flip it, let's say the Adventure Challenge gets a reset, and you can't count on the old iOS launching of digital ads, perfect providential time of COVID. What would you do? Maybe not differently, or how would you build that storefront?
That's a great question. I think that we could, I could kind of share kind of what we did do to respond to the market.
That's a great way to go about that. Yeah.
I was thinking of like Ariel, like I want to be where the people are, kind of thing.
You can show how many kids. You can show the
it shows what season of life I'm in. With my 3 little guys. But that's really the questions. Where is the market, and how does the road to market affect where the strategy of the business should be? And I joined. I was a big fan. I've known Bryant and Ben for a long time. Big fan of what they were doing. I joined to help when we were trying to solve that kind of crisis moment of iOS 14 happened and punched us in the, everybody has a game plan until we get socked in the jaw.
That's right.
It was a big pivot moment for just the whole industry. And so we made the strategic move to really go after Amazon and start getting into retail. So diversify kind of our, where our audience could be and our new clients could be. The one thing that we're really blessed with is an amazing media team. So doing content well for us has looked like having an amazing, media, video group. I mean, we have award-winning videos, and that's largely because Ben and Bryant met at like an acting, conservatory. And so that was like in their DNA, and all their friends were around that. And you can see that in some of our legacy media. But
I do think Tim's, to give you guys some credit, you guys, it wasn't just perfect time of iOS blowing, before iOS blew up. If anyone hasn't seen the Adventure Challenges ads, they probably have, because you guys were spending a lot of money on ads for a long time. Yeah. And the amount of people that I run into when I talk about you guys, they go, "Oh yeah, I know about them. I've gotten an ad from them." And there's a reason. One, because you guys understood how to spend well, but also because the ads and commercials are hilarious. Your team is unbelievably creative, and it's high quality production as well. It's not it's not low budget, it's not low quality, and I do think that is a massive part of why you guys continued to blow up early on. Was people were like, "Man, this is like television. This is hilarious." Yeah. So I want to make sure that people understand it's not.
Thank you. And I'll pass that on to Trey and Ben and
we
Brian,
know you're not creative. That's not your world. No.
I'm like, hey, let's run the business, right? Let's do this thing.
That's right.
So that's the that focus, I think, was a big tool that helped us win and has been a part of our DNA. But the fact is, like, iOS 14 shook us, and we had to pivot. When you're getting a multiplier, of 4, 5, 6x on your marketing spend, it goes down to 1, 1.5, 2 overnight. It shakes a strategy, and pivoting the business model around growth channels becoming primary channels is a big change. So I think one of the things that, and all of them have pros and cons. So I love Amazon. It's a marketplace. There's people there all the time, whether or not we're there or not, right? There's a beautiful synergy of commerce going on there, and optimizing that as an option. I don't think it is a primary, but I think it is a beautiful secondary, especially in international markets. And there's just people are more comfortable buying there. If they're going to buy online.
Yeah, you can be as bullish as you want on direct to consumer, but the reality is, it's Amazon. Amazon is a wonderful way to expose yourself to a broader audience.
Totally. And to be honest, I mean, the profit margins in D2C are the best, right? They're the greatest if you can control the right variables.
That's exactly right.
I would ask, is your business seasonal? Because you need to factor, that in. Then you have multiple, essentially quarterly game plans that make up the annual plan. Is it consumable? Is there trends going on in the market that are going to help or hurt you? There's a lot of different factors that go into strategy.
Let's say, as you guys were pivoting, what were some of the big rocks that you guys did to help shift the business to be not just hockey stick growth, high revenue, but actually sustainable and profitable amidst not being able to rely on that one channel? Obviously, you went omni-channel, and for anybody that doesn't know what that means, that just simply means from selling from one retail channel, meaning for the Adventure Challenge, it was direct consumer. They had an e-commerce store, and that's where they sold. To moving to different channels, Walmart, Target, all the Amazon, all these other channels to be able to reach new audiences. But what were some other things you guys did to, whether it be control spend, plan better? What did that look like for you guys as you pivoted and that you saw success on?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you look at being at in sales, right? You're looking at your sales funnel, right? And that's driving your forecast and the whole revenue side of the business. From an operations standpoint, what's the expense funnel look like, and how does that affect your priority list on, reviewing partnerships, seeing who the best players are? Because the decisions you make in high growth mode, hey, we need to find somebody that can do this, right? Oh, great, they can do it. Let's do it. You're not seeing if that's a good value, if they're qualified, if they're the right fit for the brand, if there's experience there. So was, really having a strategic, plan on, hey, our marketing spend is obviously paramount for us. We need to look at all the different ways that we're reevaluating that. Our product manufacturing expense is big. How do we optimize our manufacturing partnerships and supply chain, which then gets to our 3PL relationships. And I think we've had upwards of a dozen different fulfillment centers globally. So I think that was, that's how we got initially introduced to you. And we're looking at everybody. I mean, opening up different markets globally. I was looking just to be introduced to the whole market of 3PL options to find the best fit. And there's different strategies when it comes to, multiple different time zone specific locations to get, speed to the customer type of strategies. And then, single, fulfillment center, DC type of landscapes. And what I was drawn to was the fact that if you remember, I would say like late 90s, early 2000s, like your phone bill, it was pages and pages. And you got all these different fees, and it was so complicated. And that was something that I was I'm like, it felt like that with our 3PL, right? Like I couldn't get a straight answer on what we were paying for. All I knew was, close to $10 million a year. It was insane, right? And I'm like, there's got to be a better way. And
when you're trying to nail margin too, you think about that marketing spend for you guys. Like, all right, marketing spend is completely based off of the COGS, and part of COGS is that logistical cost. And 100%. It's really hard to nail that. And so it's a benefit to us that you noticed that, and it's why we've tried to shift to that simplistic model. So thanks for saying that. But sorry, I keep interrupting you. But that's why those matter. Right.
And I think just being able to, we've had, and we still do, we have excellent relationships with our current, 3PLs. We use, obviously international partners but to move our stateside business to Givington's was a huge decision for us. That happened, slow at first, just because we needed the right team members to help with that transition on our side, and to vet the market. And being introduced to you guys, I think one of the things that was a huge decision, in your favor was, hey, these guys are people of integrity. If you haven't met, Garrett or Alan or Joel or Casey or any of the team there, they love what they're doing. They live for it. That you guys aren't doing this. You're not doing this, for just, the profit at the end. You're doing it for the people that you're interacting with, and it comes through every day. And so that's really awesome. Having a clear pricing model that we could actually build a business plan off of and stick to it, that was really beautiful. And to have ease of management, to know where inventory was, what levers we had to pull. It wasn't, 3 to 5 days out if we need to make an audible. It was, hey, pick up the phone, get somebody, go down to the warehouse, change the order, do it, right? And as you go from D2C, which you can have that longer lead time for, to Amazon or major retail, there just isn't that forgiving landscape. You're going to get dinged and you're going to lose the account. And those are two things that we couldn't afford to risk, going forward, especially as we adjusted our business in those areas. Yeah. So those were real big decision makers for us. And then, be able to have the history together now and be like, hey, when the rubber meets the road, we've had moments where it's like, guys, we're stuck, or you're like, hey guys, we need help, and to have that real relationship. I vetted some of your other customers, like Jeremy, and a few other customers, and I still talk to them regularly. They gave really, it wasn't glowing feedback that was like unbelievable. It was real life feedback that made me believe that, hey, this is a great shop to partner with that can help us accomplish our long-term goals.
Yeah, and I appreciate you said it, because I think a lot of times in the sales process, business development process, it can, like especially in the technology space, we've experienced this on the hard side of, it's easy to say you can do this, and it's harder to deliver on it. And we don't deliver on everything all the time. We aren't perfect. Right. But I think what we've always tried to say, and I just so appreciate, and we've been in it with you, of like, hey, we dropped a ball. But we are not big enough to where we can't pivot, correct, and also make it right. Because we don't have thousands of fulfillment clients. We have 60 fulfillment clients. So whether you are a big fish or a small fish, you matter simply based on of just the personal piece of like, I have to call Tim and say, hey, I screwed up. That accountability is hard. It is humbling, but we believe it's powerful and something that we don't want to lose on the fulfillment side. Tim, thanks for the affirmation and encouragement. We're really proud of what we do, but also it has been tested through fire and through us learning fulfillment. One thing that I think most people know us for is direct consumer fulfillment, but they don't realize that we do have a pretty strong understanding of third-party logistics when it comes to B2B and shipping product into retail. And honestly, we've built that alongside of you guys. As you guys were moving to omnichannel, we were building processes to really support the growth that you guys have seen in the omnichannel side of stuff. So walk me through, you said that just on the D2C side, it's simpler. B2B, meaning I'm shipping pallets of books to Target and I have this much time. Walk me through just the high stakes of that and why it's important to make sure that you have that supply chain locked in when it comes to shifting from direct consumer to an omni-channel model for your product.
Right. I can answer that through different lenses. I would say financially, D2C is beautiful because you get the money tomorrow, right? You make a sale today, you get the money tomorrow, and hey, let's we need some more. Let's run a sale. There's a lot of different, very fluid, control. Whereas Amazon, it's you make a sale and you get it in 2 weeks, or you get it in after whatever the holdback period is. So it's a little farther away from D2C experience. It's a little, I would say it's different to manage, where you're sending your full supply to one warehouse. You're sending it to, their different FCs, and then you're managing it more in real time. With retail, you're sending it to their master fulfillment centers, who are sending it to their regionals and then the stores, and those, and you're on, multiple month lead times from cash, right? So it's there's a lot of IOUs, right? You don't want to lose those IOUs. But the requirements, that was one of the big breakers. For me, it was like, hey, if you guys can't work within an EDI landscape with quick turnaround on proof of pickup and fulfillment accuracy within a 99% window. Like we just can't steer into this, really tight ship type of dependent business model. So that's been nerve wracking at first. we were going from 100% of our orders being in D2C. We knew that world, and we knew how to forecast everything, to learning about retail on the go. Thankfully, we have agency partners for a lot of our main accounts that are essentially our support through the wilderness. And we have you all to essentially be nimble and agile with, hey, we actually need this new requirement came out. We need you guys to implement that for us. That's been really helpful for us. We have issues where it's like, hey, we short shipped Target, 5 cases, right? Okay, well,
Tim, I get it. This happened 2 weeks ago. We know.
Yeah. I wasn't gonna say. That was a hypothetical, right?
It's a hypothetical that you and I are still talking about. No, I'm just kidding.
Right. That's right.
Part of it, brother.
No, but it's like how do we remedy that? And knowing that you guys are in the foxhole with us, trying to solve the problem. I think that it's not negotiating with the IRS and trying to force our proof. It's like, hey, no, we're partners in fulfilling this product to this place, and you guys,
that's exactly right.
Hopefully have pride in knowing, like, hey, this is on the shelves, available for a whole different demographic of people that their lives are going to be improved through the material because of the Givington step through the process. And that's been really helpful for us.
No, and we know that because of, one, our pricing model, two, the reality of just being in fulfillment in general, as a vendor, or we say partner, we only win when our clients win. Like, we can, whether pricing model or not, we are only going to be as successful as our direct consumer brands are successful, because the more products they ship, the more money we make. So there is a win-win alignment that is a little scary, because we, on our end, we're trusting that our clients are going to do a good job of marketing their product. And it's what got us excited about you guys, because you guys understand that world really, really well. So, Tim, that's awesome. And I think your perspective is such a seasoned perspective for a lot of our customers and clients, and just our audience of people that are in the direct consumer space and are in this, are at this crossroad of, man, I have an audience, I have a really strong direct consumer presence, but I can't get over that threshold, and I don't have the backing of a 2x, 3x, 4x multiple anymore of marketing digital ad spend. So how do I get in front of new audiences? And I think omnichannel is a great option for that. Not to forego direct consumer, because it still is the cash cow, the most plannable. It's what you want because you own that customer, but to be able to get in front of more customers is so important. So great perspective on that. Tim,
one piece I would add to that is I would say we were a great brand marketer and a poor product marketer. And when you have different products in different channels perform at different levels, and you wouldn't know that unless you were in those channels. So an example, we have a mini dates products, which is 30 dates you can do in 30 minutes or less. We have that on shelf now at Target, and we've had it on our site. And even through our high season and low season of the year, we're doing 10x on shelf at Target of that same SKU. It's not a marketing thing. We're marketing the same way that we are, but we sell 10 times as many because, certain people are in different places, and you can't, it's easy to judge the performance of a new product or offering when it might not have had the product marketing that, was at the right location to showcase, that value. And so that's a whole unique sliver and lens on, why having different markets for your products matters.
Well, it just gives you it gives you a broader lens, right? When you're only working off of this finite channel, you get blinded by the success and the failures of going, this product doesn't work, but it might actually work elsewhere, which is so good, which is why you guys have been successful. I think you guys are humble enough to be able to look at your product and your brand, not with this blinder of it's the greatest thing ever. You've changed it. You've edited it. You've thrown it out. You're not scared to try.
So this product we made 6 years ago, and it was our worst selling product. Okay. Solo. I think it's super cool. We make everybody that on their first day they go do a solo challenge,
That's
right?
awesome.
Yeah, it's a great product. We had a viral moment last fall, and all of our ads, the only ones that were scaling, were solo, right? Which then influenced Target being like, "Hey, we want to carry this," right? Like,
Yep.
so
Great
products that
example.
are that are dusty that you've written off, again, might not have gotten the right timing and location, and so. Just again, getting back to the mission, what are we doing? We're inspiring human connection in your most important relationships. Believing in that, and then having kind of commerce verify our assumptions
Yep.
has been a helpful thing to do.
Love that. Love that. Tim, this is amazing, man. This perspective is just so good and so unique to a lot of our content creator clients and audience that work in the publishing space specifically. I think you guys have such a unique perspective of, again, and I cannot suggest more of anyone going to engage with the Adventure Challenges products, if nothing else, to understand how to start thinking through your content in a way of repurposing it, not just in a physical book, whether it be you're in the professional development space, the self-help space, the evangelical Christian space, that wherever it fits, there are other ways to develop products and get it to customers that is creative and unique. So Tim, I really do appreciate the time. Where can they find the Adventure Challenges products?
I mean, adventurechallenge.com, Amazon, Target. We're up and coming in the game section at Walmart. That's where we'll likely land. Indigo in Canada. But those are, follow us on our social channels. I mean, we're constantly looking to help people find the right.
Follow the social channel, because there again, the content is just gold. It's you guys produce some really, really fun, just creative stuff. So Tim Marinello, you're the man. I really do appreciate the time, brother.
Thank you.
I'm excited for what the Adventure Challenge looks like a year from now, 2 years now, 5 years from now. So we appreciate you all and your partnership.
We're in it together, man. Yep.
That's right.
Thank you.